Hi everyone, I'm Chris Manabe. I'm here to show off the IKBoost and some of the stuff I've been doing with it lately. And setting up this scene here, it's on the outskirts of, the idea is for it to be on the outskirts of Indian Village and in the forest. And basically, I have one character set up here, but he's practicing training for his kind of warrior training. And in a few months time after working on this, I plan to have everything like a full forest and all the characters and everything. But the idea today is to kind of show off the character and the deformations and stuff. So let's have a look at it. Oh. It's not playing at speed, hold on. I just had this working today. Chugging.
So you're having similar issues with hair as I am.
Hair's fun.
No. Not.
So that was it.
Wow. Great.
So hopefully that was pretty good as far as deformations go in LightWave. We can maybe look at it again.
How long did it take to hand animate that?
Yeah, this is all hand keyframed. The animation probably took about maybe a couple weeks. It was actually pretty quick. This is actually not 27 separate shots. It's one long 700 frame shot.
Really is.
So all the dynamics and deformations and the characters' positions and posing all happen in one 700 frame long animation. And I'll show an example of that in a second. The shots that are rendered with the time warp is the time warp feature in LightWave. Okay. Let me just load up an example I have a preview. If I can get the size. Hold on. This is one camera from inside the scene. I think a handstand's a pretty tricky thing to achieve.
Facial stuff, bones, or deformation?
It's morph targets, yeah. And a lot of the muscle deformations is morphs. The actual basic deformations are all done with bones in LightWave. So being able to just use bones, then on top of that, you can do some pretty cool muscle stuff with morphs. If you don't have to, like, for instance, use morphs to fix any kind of deformations.
Morphs are cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. His spine bulging out the back, for instance, is a morph. So, okay, so that was the animation, and that's my work in progress. I'd like to get into a little bit of IKBoost stuff. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, how do you do it?
We're going to get into that.
How much traditional IK is on this rig for this 700 frame piece?
The traditional IK is just on his upper legs, on the pitch, and on the knees, on the pitch. Everything else is IKBoost.
Which means it's all technically FK, but you created the keys and edited them with IKBoost?
Correct.
Cool.
Technically.
Technically, yeah, I know. It's its own beast, isn't it?
Okay. Let me close this. I'm trying to get used to this monitor configuration. Like, before I get into like the character stuff, though, as great as that is, I'd like to get into some, before I do that, get into more simple stuff that you can do in IKBoost. One example that I've been kind of playing around with is, I can't see, okay, is playing around with the chain using IKBoost. And okay. Alrighty. Okay. So if we go to the top of the chain here, or it's not there. Where is the top of the chain? It's back here. There we go. There's IKBooster. I'm going to remove it. Okay, IKBooster's gone. It's like it never existed. So what happens here is this link is parented to this link, and this link's parented to this link, and so on and so forth all the way down the chain. So what that means is the first link, if I just apply the IKBooster plugin to that first link, it turns IKBooster on. Well, it applies it, doesn't turn it on. You still have to turn it on after you apply it. I had some artists tell me that they didn't really know how to even turn IKBooster on and work with it. So that's the first step. Under the Modify tab, you have IKBooster under the Tools menu down here. And you can either select that there and turn on IKBooster there, or you can hit Control-B as a hotkey. When you do that, if you look down at the dope editor, are you guys familiar with the dope editor? Yep. IKBooster almost primarily lives in the dope editor. When you apply IKBooster, you get a menu on the left-hand side. It gives you a set of options. If it'll let me, you have to select. Okay. And the options are all item, parent, child, parent, and child, and current item. You can tend to think of these as keyframe modes in that if you have all items selected and you're only select the top or any of the links in the chain, it'll create a keyframe for all the links. If you have parent selected, it'll create a keyframe from that point you have selected up the hierarchy. It'll create keyframes. And child is the opposite of that. It'll create keyframes down the hierarchy. And obviously, child and parent does both up and down. And it differs from all item in that all item will even get, say for instance, you're using bones. It'll even get the object the bones are in. And current item obviously is just the current one item. If you want to create a keyframe on that one particular item you have selected, then current is probably the best selection for that. I tend to like to work in child a lot. That creates keyframes downstream in your hierarchy. So before we get into that, let's look on the right side of the IKBoost menu, or the dope editor. And you have another menu on the right side. Here you have bone dynamics, global fix IK, IK bind, auto bind, auto apply, and then you have commands, which has another menu in it, which has an option for reset rotations, which is really handy for if you're in any of the modes and you want to reset all your rotations in that mode. So like you want to reset all the rotations from, say, this point here, if you're in child mode, from this point down your hierarchy, it'll only reset the rotations down the hierarchy if you're in child mode, or up the hierarchy if you're in parent mode, for instance. I will show an example of that a little later. Rebake, spot all, and these are a little more advanced. Probably get into them a little bit later. I don't want to go over them too much right now. I want to try to keep it simple right now so that we can kind of see the power that IKBoost has, really. There's a motion copy feature, and there's motion tools here for when you're working the dope editor, but also if you right-click on any of the nodes that you're working with, you also have motion tools here. And they differentiate because one, you're working with the dope editor and the menu applies there. And it applies to all the keyframes. The other one depends on what mode you're in. And then you have options. Under options, you have features like set IK target, a setting copy from, kind of tells IKBoost where you're copying, where you want to copy a motion from. I'm just trying to go over these real quick. Okay. I'm sorry. Sometimes, okay, there's a little glitch in IKBoost, and it's something you should know. Sometimes when you're working with the menus out in the layout here, they kind of stick. They kind of stay with those menus so that you might come down here and select a menu, and you'll actually get this menu over here. Happens occasionally, but if it happens, see how the menu's popping up here now? Yeah, gets a little buggy, but if you just click in an empty spot a little, it kind of clears it up. Actually, if you notice that. If you select the options button, you'll get a fix IK size. Now, sometimes you'll click on a goal in IKBooster, and you'll know it's selected because it's highlighted. It gets highlighted yellow, but you won't be able to move it. And this could be your issue here. You might have to adjust the size, the fix IK size. So